And so with those cues and obviously the time code, you're just lining that up in a Pro Tools session and everything's imported as session data for the dialogue editors, or
Yes, they'll give me a QuickTime movie, and that movie will have a time code window burn. You
mm,
know, either down at the bottom or up at the top, and it'll have time code. And most shows have a generic start time. You know, typically it's usually around 58 minutes. Like CSI is 58:40. Some are 58:30, 59:30. But basically, the first frame of the real TV show is always at hour one.
yeah,
So the 58 is to accommodate a slate and maybe color bars at the front of the show, but the actual show will begin at 1 hour exactly. And um, so I'll import that into Pro Tools, and the left audio track of that movie will typically have dialogue, and the right audio track will have music and effects, or M&E track. And that's handy for me because when we replace the line, when we get to that specific line and I'm playing it back, I can duck out the dialogue, but I still have my music and effects to sort of let the people in the room, when they hear my playback, it sort of sounds like the real thing, and they can instantly sort of hear what was recorded in a fairly quick playback that sounds really mixed, and so they can quickly make a judgment call if it's a good loop or not. Whereas if I didn't have that, you'd have to duck all sound and everything would just get antiseptically quiet, and you'd hear the new line, and then it'd pop back into production, so it would just always sound horrible, you know. So it's kind of nice. Anything that I have to help sell what I've recorded, and we move on to the next cue is great, you know. I
yeah,
also have in my arsenal some generic fills like traffic, wind, and I can also add a little bit of that in as I needed, you know, during my sessions to help sell the cue. I can bring up a little bit of ambience that maybe I don't have. You don't always have a great ambient track on your M&E track, so if I need some help, I have some of those samples I can bring up too. But
brilliant.
that's kind of how it works, and so you know, once you bring in your movie track, it's going to match the Pro Tools time code. So when I have my list of cues, any cue I go to, it's going to be spot on with what the sound supervisor was expecting us to get to, and occasionally we have to, you know, fine tune it when we get there. It feels like the beeps might be late or early, but usually, you know, it's ready to go. So we can, and it also helps us move through the session really fast, since they're obviously spending a lot of money per hour in these on these stages, you know. So
Yeah,
it's usually a pretty big foot race to make it through the end of the day and get everything that they hope to get. So.
yeah.